Hello, my name is Juan Perez, and this is for Introduction to Communication. The movie I'm doing my research on is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the original one from 1971. So, just to give you a quick introduction to what we're going to be talking about today, is we're going to be talking about different ways of communication that we've learned throughout the course so far. We're going to discuss culture, ways of communication, whether it's verbal or nonverbal, interpersonal communication, types of interpersonal communication, relationships, and conflict management. First, we're going to discuss the culture. So, there's a couple things that this movie has brought to us as far as culture. But the word culture refers to the characteristic, attitudes, rules, and expected behaviors of a particular society, according to the Making Connections textbooks that we've been using throughout this movie. There's actually been a hypothesis or a study done by Sapir and Worf, which states that language is not just what we use as words, just a way of using voice ideas, but it actually shapes those ideas. The hypothesis states that we cannot think outside the confines of our language. In other words, we're so immersed in our language and our culture that we do not recognize how it influences our view of the world. So this movie, it's based in a 1970s European style town. Doesn't ever say where the movie was recorded or what town it was actually takes place in, where the chocolate factory is actually at. But in the IBMD for this movie, I did find out that they did filming in Germany and Bulgaria for this. However, throughout the movie, everybody speaks English. Even the people from different parts of the world, such as Germany and other parts, they do speak English. So I guess that helps out with the movie. Charlie Bucket, which is the main character of the movie, he's a kid who lives in poverty. He's very poor. His family lives in a one-bedroom hut home. He lives with his grandparents, four of them, and his mother. He doesn't have a father figure, as far as an actual father, but his father figure is his grandpa Joe. And most of the movie does take place within the chocolate factory, even though it does give you the first 15, 20 minutes of the 2 hour movie. It does talk about his schooling, his part time job that he has delivering newspaper, and how it shows you how poor he is. Most of the movie does take place within the chocolate factory. Ways of communication throughout the movie, they did use verbal and nonverbal ways of communication. The verbal ways of communication that did have a big impact on this was when the announcement was made by Willy Wonka. It went worldwide via television, radio, television. In the movie, show most of it on the television that was passed. The world was astonished when Willy Wonka, for years and recluse in his factory, announced that five lucky people were going to be giving a tour of his factory, showing all of his secrets on how he makes his candy and giving them a lifetime supply of Wonka chocolate. And the way that he does communicate this is through the golden tickets itself in the chocolate bars. And that's where we get to the nonverbal part. In a nonverbal message right here, Willy Wonka sends out tickets to the winners of the chocolate contest to come to visit his factory. This message states who won. It gives them the five W's: the where, when, how, and why they're getting the tickets. Um, he's using impersonal communication through a mediated source, and that mediated source is the golden ticket. There was a study done by Weaver and Shannon in 1963. All communication can be broken down in three components: an information source, a channel or path, and a destination. In this model, the information source is the communicator who has a message to transmit. The message is transmitted into a signal which travels along a channel or panel path to the destination where it is delivered. In this one, using interpersonal communication through a mediated source, and it's with the golden ticket, and it's delivered to the world. Interpersonal communication. According to Making Connections textbook, the process of exchanging messages, usually between two people, to create a sharing meaning. Interpersonal communication can be unplanned and occur spontaneously when people meet unexpectedly, exchange greetings, and have an impromptu conversation. The ways that throughout the movie, it's mostly one-on-one conversations that they're having. However, like I said, three-quarters of this movie is filmed inside the chocolate factory, where small group communication is performed. Small group communication is among three or more people that who interact face to face with others in a group. Willy Wonka is basically the one who leads the group through the tour of the chocolate factory. There's five golden ticket winners, and they all are accompanied by a chaperone. So total in the beginning, there's 10 people that Willy Wonka is dealing with, and as you see throughout the movie, it gets less and less people that he deals with. The types of interpersonal relationships are friendship, family, romantic, and professional relationships. As far as the friendship goes, you can tell that Willy Wonka is very set on being friends with everybody that comes to that chocolate factory. He does try to be friends with everyone, but he only disregards them only when they don't listen or follow his rules. But there is lots of friendship throughout the whole movie. The family aspect, all the winners that come through are joined by a family member. Most of them, their mothers or their fathers. Charlie's the only one who's accompanied by his grandfather. And it does show that how everyone's relationship with their family, their parent. Some of them treat them rude, some of them disrespect them, some of them are nice to them. Some of the parents disrespect the kids, but within that family, whether it's dysfunctional or not, it does show the relationship between them. There's not too much romantic relationship being built in this movie. There's no um, passion or intimacy and commitment shown by anybody for this. However, the professional relationship um, between Willy Wonka and his actual workers, who are the Oompa Loompas, they do build this professional relationship where they do work for him and Willie provides for them, but they're almost have that family relationship as well. Also, there's a professional relationship between Willy Wonka and a man named Augustus Slugworth. Slugworth is one of uh, Willy Wonka's associates who goes around and he tries to show the kids, hey, give me some secrets of Willy Wonka's and I'll pay you handsomely with some money. Just bring stuff, secrets, and specifically, he's looking for an everlasting gobstopper to take and steal and sell on his own in his own factory. It does. It's not revealed until the end that him and Willie work together. They're actually associates and they work together. That would be a great example of professional relationship in this movie. And just a little bit more about the character interpersonal relationships they have. Does show the different ticket winners. The first one was Augustus Gloop, and he was accompanied by his mother. He's very the word they use is gluttonous. He eats everything. He shoves everything in his mouth. He has disregard for um, Willie's rules, and he just eats everything in sight. And his mother was okay with that. He brought his mother along, and he's mama's boy, and nothing. He can't do anything wrong. So that's a relationship that they show. Next one is Veruca Salt, who wants everything, and her father gives her everything that she wants. Um, she's got an awesome song in this movie. It's called "I Want It Now," and it just explains like everything she asks for, she gets, and her father does give it to her. It does show the relationship that they have. And the third one, ticket winner, is Violet Beauregard, who I guess would feel neglected because her father um, disregards everything she does. She's very vulgar in some things that she does, whether it's chewing and spitting and picking her nose and picking her ear and popping bubbles. And her father disregards that. He's just more worried about himself and his car sale business. And he's always bringing that up, even during the time that she won her golden ticket. He did say, "Hey, come on over to the car sales. We got a great deal for you," and he just totally ignores his daughter. The fourth ticket is won by Mike TV, who's ideal of doing anything is watching TV all day long, and his mom's okay with that because she sees him as his little boy, and he wants to be a cowboy, and it's okay for him to play cowboys and Indians, and he's learning from all the TV watching that he does. And the story between Charlie and Grandpa Joe, you can tell that Charlie is such a great family member to his family, and he tries to do anything to help them out. Charlie has many interpersonal experiences in the first part of the movie. His thoughts show us that he believes in himself, and he shows us that he even dealt with a bad hand in life, and he must continue to hope and dream. Like I said, he's a poverty-stricken uh, child, and he does everything. He goes to school. He's got a part-time job. He gives money to his family when he can. He buys bread for his family when they can't afford it. He does everything he can to help his family out. Next, we're going to be talking about conflict management. Next, we have this article done by Eric Dougherty from Chrome. He suggests this 5 strategies to conflict management. First is accommodating, which is a lose-win scenario. Next would be avoiding a lose-lose scenario. Collaborating, which is a win-win for both teams. Compromising is a win-lose and a win-lose for both. And competing is a win-lose. So this, the first half is what you would be dealing with, and the second half would be what the other party would be dealing with. So accommodating with somebody, they're asking you to do something, and you accommodate them, you give in to what they're asking for, you lose, but they win, so they gain. That's what the first and second part are dealing with here. One part in the movie that really stands out to me would be the avoiding conflict here. In one of the scenes of the movie, Charlie and his grandpa Joe steal fizzy lifting drink and end up floating to the chimney and risk losing everything they have, just for the sake of trying something out, breaking the rules. What they ended up doing was they didn't want to tell anybody. They wanted to avoid that conflict. They wanted to keep it from Willie because he told them not to do it, and they disregarded his thoughts, his rules, and that's where they tried to keep it to themselves. Avoiding or ignoring that conflict, the avoider hopes the problem resolved itself without a confrontation. However, when Willie did tell them that, hey, you didn't win anything, Charlie, with dignity and grace, approaches Willie one last time and sets the everlasting gobstopper on his desk in Willie's left hand. Once he does that, Willie changes his attitude and says, "You won, Charlie, you won." He hugs him. He says, "I'm sorry for putting you through this." So by opening up, he does help the whole situation out. So in conclusion, the evaluation from what I've learned so far throughout this course has been shown through some of these slides I've given you: the culture, ways of communication, whether it's verbal and nonverbal, interpersonal communication, types of interpersonal relationships, and conflict management. This class has taught me a lot about communication, not only that I'm not the greatest at it, but it does show me things I do need to work on. And I have noticed throughout my personal and professional life ways that I can better myself. It's not about what the other person's saying, it's how I'm taking it in and transferring all that information. Some of the references I used was the IBMD for the movie. Google Images, I did grab some of the images from Google Images. Nova Online helped out with some of the interpersonal relationships, and Small Business Chrome helped me out as well. Thank you. Have a great day.